Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all keeping well. Welcome back to my channel. Anyway, this weekend is WWE Night of Champions, so just wanted to do a quick video because it's very warm. Um, get my preview and predictions in for this weekend's event. Well, I think we've got 6 matches on the card. Shocker. Usually you're only getting like 4 or 5. Um, so there's a bit of awkwardness with these matches. Obviously, we've got the tournament finals, and I think they are going to be kicking off the show. Um, but I'll talk about them again. The matches. So I'll start off with the Queen of the Ring match. We got Liv Morgan versus Io Sky. Now, for starters, like I love Liv Morgan. Followed her career since NXT up to now. I don't understand why she's in this tournament. I don't understand why she's in the finals of this match. You know, she won the world title at WrestleMania and she has yet to defend it. And, you know, the fact that Stephanie Fakur is out, they have no plans for Liv, so that's why they had to put Liv in this tournament, just, you know, to give her something to do. But, you know, what does that say for the rest of the women's roster? You know, that basically saying, well, Stephanie's injured, so we can't use Liv in a title match because obviously none of you are good enough to get a title shot. So we're going to stick her in this tournament for the Queen of the Ring, even though the fact that the whole tournament is designed to, you know, crown a winner and give them a title shot at the World or WWE Women's Championships. So I just think it's very stupid from creative, just, you know, to put Liv in there. And right, fair enough, you put her in. There was no reason for Liv to beat Charlotte on SmackDown. I mean, you could easily had Charlotte and Io as the finals. It would have been a great match, but, you know, and then had Liv defend her title at Night of Champions. You know, I don't. Also, I don't know why they're calling it Night of Champions, because we've only got like 3 titles being defended on the night. But it is what it is with this match. I'm gonna go with Io to win this match. I'm hoping that Io wins it. There's obviously a story to be told there with Io and Rhea, because, you know, obviously Rhea's never beaten Io, so you can have the opportunity then where it's, you know, the best friends going up against each other at SummerSlam. Will Rhea finally get a victory over Io, or will Io once again beat Rhea and become the new champion? And then hopefully, Jesus, will then leave Liv open to defend her title at SummerSlam, because if you have Liv win and she's going after the Rhea's title before she's ever defended her own title, I mean, as you might as well just vacate the fucking title at this point. But yeah, I'm going with Io for this one. Next up is the King of the Ring finals. This one itself has had its own, you know, controversy. You got Jay versus Obafemi, and realistically, Obafemi should be winning this. Like, all due respect to Jay, I don't think anybody wants to see Jay Uso as King of the Ring winner and go on to SummerSlam to challenge for a title, and, you know, the main event of night 1 or night 2. I think if Jay won King of the Ring, he'd be a more hated king than Joffrey Baratheon. But yeah, as I said, realistically, Oba should be winning this match, but the problem is we're just waiting for Brock Lesnar to strike. You know, at the moment the score is 1-1 between the two of them, and Oba has been calling out Brock every week. So I don't know. It feels like Brock's gonna cost Oba at Night of Champions, and Jay's gonna win the match, which obviously, obviously builds more towards the conclusion of Oba and Lesnar's, feud. But at the same time, I just think it's stupid having Jay win the King of the Ring and then challenge Cody or even challenge Roman, because we've had Jay versus Roman, and you know what happens then? We're gonna have Jay challenge Cody, and then we're gonna have the Bloodline on Raw and SmackDown. The only thing I can think is if they did a scenario where Lesnar does attack Oba, but he attacks him before the match, like before the event, like the pre-show or whatever they call it nowadays. If he attacked him there and took him out of the match, and then you have basically Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis scrambling to find an emergency replacement to face Jay, that could work. Who that could be? I mean, could you have somebody like CM Punk return to face Jay in the finals? I mean, he did say to Cody the night after Mania, you never know when an opportunity is going to fall out of the sky. So, I mean, that could be an opportunity where Lesnar takes out Oba, and I don't know. I don't know where Punk is meant to be in Saudi for. It was the fan interactions, or if he was scheduled for anything over in the event, or it could be, I don't know, somebody else on the card. I'm trying to think. Randy Orton. We have not seen Randy Orton since Mania, so I don't know. But in all likelihood, it feels like it's setting up for Lesnar to cost Oba the match, and Jay's gonna win. I'm hoping not. It'd be great for see Oba win. Um, Obviously Jay's got this feud with LA Knight, and they're building to something between him and Jacob. So I don't know. I think that should be the direction for Jay, not winning the King of the Ring and challenging Cody. Or my theory is, I mean, what they could do, because obviously I'll talk about it as part of it, but we've got a triple threat match for the WWE title on the card. I could see them doing a scenario where Jay wins King of the Ring, Gunther wins the WWE title, and then they do Jay versus Gunther at SummerSlam as a rematch from WrestleMania. But hopefully they don't go down that road. But I'm gonna go with Oba to win the match, but I feel like we're gonna have a scenario where Lesnar costs him, or Lesnar takes him out before the match, but we'll see. So that's the two tournament matches. I think they're kicking off the show. They do that. Was it the first hour on ESPN or something, and then the rest of the show is on like a ESPN Plus or something like that. So next match on the card is Tiffany defending her title against Jade Cargill. This has just been thrown together at the last moment because Jade and Mia and B-Fab have been feuding with Charlotte and Alexa, so now they've just thrown this scenario where Jade suddenly challenged Tiffany. Sorry, it's very warm today. I'm going to go with Tiffany to retain, because I think after Jade and Co attacked Charlotte on SmackDown and basically cost her Queen of the Ring spot, I feel like Charlotte's going to get revenge, and she's going to show up and cost Jade the match with Tiffany. Um, I do feel like they're gonna go with Charlotte versus Jade at SummerSlam. So, I mean, there could be a scenario where Jade wins the title and then they have Jade versus Charlotte for the US title, but I think it'd be stupid just to take the title off Tiffany at this moment, just, to have it in a feud between Jade and Charlotte. You don't need a title between Jade and Charlotte to have their match. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Tiffany to win that match. Next up, we got Braun versus Seth in a steel cage match. This is a hard one to pick because I would like to see Braun get the push and get the victory, over Seth to end the feud, but I feel like they are building Seth up as potentially a future challenger for Roman. So I just, for some reason, I can picture a spot of Braun, building up speed in the ring and end up spearing Seth through the cage wall, and then Seth ends up like rolling onto the floor, and he inadvertently, wins the match by touching the ground first. I would expect the Street Profits and Austin and Logan to get involved. I'm wondering if they bring back Bronson Reed because he has been out with his injury, but he has. I don't know where he's clear to return or not, but if he is, there could be a scenario where Austin and Logan get involved, the Street Profits fight them off, and then you think Seth's gonna win, and then Bronson shows up, I don't know, slams the cage door in his face, or I don't know, distracts him while Braun gets out of the ring. As I said, I would like to see Braun win, but I feel like it's going to be Seth that wins this match. So I'm going to go with Seth to win. And hopefully that does end the feud between them, because the need to get Seth away from this whole, battling the Vision. And at this point, I mean, the Vision itself is just its on life support. Everybody either keeps getting injured or, members get cut or thing. I think they'd be just better going their own way. I would just have, Paul Heyman managing Braun Breaker. And then you could have, Austin Theory and Logan Paul as a tag team. But yeah, hopefully, either way, whoever wins, hopefully that's the end of this feud. Although, I don't know, they could end up doing a scenario where, it's Seth Rollins and the Street Profits versus the Vision at, I don't know, Saturday Night's Main Event. When's they're doing a Saturday Night's Main Event in Madison Square Garden. But I feel like Seth's going to win this match. Where are we now? Yes, we got a US title match. Trick Williams versus Ricky Saints. But say Ricky Stark, wrong company. I think this would be a good match. I like Ricky Saints, but I don't think he's going to win the title. He's only been on the main roster for was it a few weeks, a couple of months now. But I think it'd be a good match. But I think Trick is going to get the win. I wouldn't take the title off Trick Williams just yet. And I think they are going to set up maybe Trick versus Carmelo at a future event. Like I say, I'd be surprised if Ricky won this, and first fucking play, come up the main roster and he claims the US title. But I'm gonna go with Trick Williams to win this match. Either clean or I don't know. Is there a chance that Carmelo could get involved and that could set up a future? Because they have, but there's been like a you know, a trio rivalry between the three of them. Like Carmelo and Ricky have been fighting each other. Carmelo wants to fight Trick Williams. Ricky constantly wants to be involved. So I can see a scenario where uh, Carmelo gets involved, or and then the match ends like a DQ or something like that, and it ends up being like a triple threat match at, I don't know, Saturday Night's Main Event or SummerSlam. Where the hell is Ilya Dragunov, by the way? Like, he has just completely disappeared. Like, he was holding the US title and not holding the Open Invitationals. You know, he had the feud with Carmelo, and then he's just completely fucking disappeared. So I don't know where the hell he is, and hopefully he will get back at some point and, you know, get involved again in the US title thing. Because you look at Raw with the Intercontinental title, you know, there's several people challenging for that. But on SmackDown at the moment, you've only got Trick, Ricky, and Carmelo. So hopefully they can get Dragunov back into the fold. But that's it. Like I said, it's called Night of Champions, but, you know, we've only got 3 titles. I don't know why the Intercontinental title or, you know, the SmackDown tag titles, you know, are not being defended. But, you know, I think they need to change the name of the event. Instead of calling Night of Champions, called something else. I don't know, Saturday in Saudi, or, you know, something the Riyadh Rumble or something. Yeah, so I'm going to go Trick Williams to retain the title against Ricky. And that leaves us with our main event, which is the triple threat for the WWE title: Gunther, Cody, Sami. I can see a scenario where Cody retains the title, but as much as I like Cody, I would like to see a change. You know, I thought whenever Gunther had moved to SmackDown and challenged Cody, I thought they were going to put the title on Gunther, and they should have. Is there a chance where because they're in Saudi, is there a chance that they could put the title on Sami Zayn? It would be a hell of a pop. But obviously, is it going to be well received, you know, everywhere else? I mean, apart from the States, Sami is well received. He got a big pop when he was over in, you know, Europe and the UK and everything, and he gets a big pop in Canada, and he gets a big pop in Saudi Arabia. So it's only just in the United States that he gets booed. I don't know. For me, honestly, I think the ship is sailed on Sami Zayn's, you know, main title aspirations, where it's the world title, the WWE title. Just every time he's had an opportunity, it comes up short. So I don't know. It would be very interesting if they made the switch here and Sami won the title. You know, and you know, have him hold. He could hold the title until, I don't know, Survivor Series. No, not Survivor Series, because they always do War Games. I mean, they could hold it. You could hold it to Royal Rumble. You know, lose at Royal Rumble. To, I don't know, lose it back to Cody or lose it to somebody else, Gunther or somebody. Honestly, I would put the title on Gunther. I mean, he's had 2 chances now, which have been, you know, fuck finishes. You know, one was where his, you know, it was pinned, but his foot was on the rope. The other was with, you know, Sami as a special referee, but it all ended in chaos. So, I mean, third time's a charm. If they're not going to put the title on Gunther now, you know, what the hell was the point of moving him to SmackDown when he technically was, you know, looking to go for the world title on Raw because he said before his move to SmackDown, he said that he was going to be pursuing the world title, and he even had like an interaction with LA Knight, where LA Knight said, well, you know, I guess I'll see you on that journey, because if you want the world title, so do I, and you're going to have to go through me. And then the move to SmackDown. But I say I could see a scenario where they have Cody retain the title. I hope they don't. I like Cody, but we need a break. I've always said Cody is better when he's chasing the title. When he has the title, I don't know. It's just not the same. When he is chasing the title, and when he's hunting, to get the title, like he did with the bloodline, finishing the story and all that. That was great. But I don't know. It's just something about Cody as champion. It's just, I don't know. It's just not hitting. I think, I don't know where it's because he lost the title to Cena, then he won the title back, then he lost the title to Drew, won the title back, in quick succession. So I just feel like for a while we need to have a new champion on SmackDown, and let them have a run with the title, and then I don't know, you could have Cody win Elimination Chamber, to earn a shot at the title at WrestleMania, or he could do something completely different, you know. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Gunther to win that match. Hopefully, I would be surprised if Sammy won it. It would be interesting, and I'm hoping that Cody doesn't retain. So I'm gonna go with Gunther. But yeah, so that's it. We got 6 matches, 6 predictions. The only one I'm worried about is the tournament finals, because I know obviously at the moment Rhea is injured and hopefully she'll be back for SummerSlam. But if the tournament finals end up with Liv and Jay winning the matches, then oh dear God, it's just horrible booking, and they've just totally effed up this whole tournament. As I said, Charlotte and Io would have been a perfect Queen of the Ring final, and you could have had Io win and then go on to face Rhea. The Raw or the King of the Ring finals is a little more difficult, because realistically, out of all of them, it should be Oba winning. It's just the fact that he has this feud with Lesnar, and we're just waiting for Lesnar to strike. Now, realistically, Lesnar should be wanting Oba to win King of the Ring, and get a shot at the title, so then he can challenge Oba if he wins the title. But it feels like they are going to do Lesnar Oba 3 at SummerSlam, because it's a 2-night event. At the same time, though, it's crazy that they didn't just stick with Lesnar retiring at Mania, past. But I'd be very surprised if Lesnar isn't involved in Mania next year. The fact that it's in Saudi Arabia, I would be very surprised if they're not throwing money to try and get Lesnar on the card for WrestleMania. So is there a scenario where they hold off and do Lesnar Oba 3 at WrestleMania next year in Saudi? I don't know. I mean, if Oba was champion, they could do a scenario where it's career versus title. But do you want Lesnar retiring twice at WrestleMania? But as I say, apart from the tournament finals, they're the only two that worry me. The rest, either way, it doesn't really matter. As I said, apart from the WWE title, I hope going for wins, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, it's very warm. That went longer than I expected. Anyway, hope it's a good event. Let me know in the comments your thoughts for the event, your predictions. Hope it's a good event. If anything major happens, I'll obviously be doing a review of the event. But anyway, take care, and I'll see you again. Hope it's a good event. Night of Champions with 3 titles being defended.